Okay, welcome to another lesson. In this lesson I want to talk about Stella by Starlight, which I think you're familiar with, the jazz standard. And a couple of things on how you can reharm and do things with this tune that makes it stand out, I think, from other jazz standards or most other standards from this era. So it's not a lesson on reharm, because reharmonization of jazz standards is a whole topic in and of itself, a huge topic which I could get into maybe in another lesson. But this one, I just give you some thoughts and stuff that I've learned about this tune, Stella by Starlight. Because what's interesting about this tune is that it's kind of, you could play it in many different ways. It's an old standard, so you could play it like an old jazz tune. But you could also play it in a very modern fashion, right? Because it's one of those tunes that kind of suggests more modern sounds. So this is not based on any scientific research that I've done or anything, but to me this tune is kind of represents that transition from early jazz to a more modern jazz sound. And with that I mean kind of like Joe Henderson and Wayne Shorter, right? So those kind of tunes or compositions by players like Joe Henderson and Wayne Shorter, for example, has a lot of extensions in them. And this tune has a lot of extensions in the melody, which is why it's interesting, I think. So let's look at this tune. So it actually starts with a reharm right off the bat. If you look at the first bars in the real book, so I don't know, I'm not sure what the original key is. I don't think it's B flat, but I'm not sure. So maybe somebody out there knows. But most of us play this tune in B flat, right? So the first chords are E minor 7 flat 5, A7 altered to C minor F7. That's a funny jump there from A7, right? Why does it go to C minor? So it's already a little bit weird, I guess, as opposed to more simpler tunes from that era. So I'm pretty sure that in the original version it's not those chords. It's a diminished chord. So, which I'm playing is C sharp diminished with an A in the melody, which I guess is the what is it, the flat 6. This is like the Django Reinhardt chord, right? Then you get this kind of thing like C sharp diminished, C minor 7, which is not weird at all in the key of B flat. You see that chord all the time, right? So like B flat over D, C sharp or D flat diminished, C minor. But in the bebop era, I guess, they liked to replace the diminished chords with minors 2 5 1s. You see that all the time in a whole bunch of tunes. Can't think of one right now. I guess All Things You Are, same thing. May no. I'll have to get back to you on that one. So anyway, we could play E minor 7 flat 5 to A. Melody note is A. So that means that you can play an E minor 7 flat 5 with an 11 and 9 in there. So E, B flat, D, F sharp, A. You could also think of that as a D triad over E minor 7 flat 5. So it's a super superimposed triad. Then you have an extension again, C minor with an F, the ninth, so let's move on to there's a key change. It moves to F major for a second there. What you can do there is you can replace that F major 7 with B minor 7 flat 5. Not maybe for the melody, but in the soloing that's quite common to do that. So then after that you play B minor 7 or 6, B flat minor 6. So B minor 7 flat 5, B flat minor 6. I've heard people do that. So then we have D minor, B flat minor, E flat. Okay, then at the end there we have this progression, right? E minor 7 flat 5 to A7, D minor 7 flat 5 for G7, C minor 7 flat 5, and so on. We can replace those chords, which is quite common to do. Again, I've heard many people do that. George Benson does that on his recording. With, instead of 1, 2, 5 per 2 bars, we play 1, 2, 5 per bar. So chromatic approach, 2/5 approach, I guess you could call it. So instead of E minor 7 flat 5 to A, we play F minor, B flat, E minor, A7. And then instead of the next bar, it's E flat minor, D minor, G, C sharp. So instead of depending on who you're playing with and the context, you might or might not want to do that. If you just throw that in on the jam, people might be like, you know, thrown off. But you can hear more seasoned players hint to that all the time. It's quite common to do that kind of stuff, like Wes Montgomery and players like that do that all the time. I might do another lesson on that. I'm not sure what to call it. Chromatic 2/5s. It's kind of tricky to solo over, so you have to be careful. What I like to do anyway is replace the last 2 bars of that progression with that. So I'm starting with E minor 7 flat 5, A7. Now E flat minor, D minor, C sharp minor, C minor. Okay? So one more thing, in the pedal section of the tune where it goes G7, C minor, A flat. Now, there's a C in the melody over a B flat. As soon as you have extensions in the melody, it gives you more options to experiment with the major 7 chords. So you could even treat that as a diminished chord, because you can replace a major 7 chord with a diminished chord that resolves to a major 7. So right? And if I throw in an extension on the diminished chord like a major 7, I get A over B flat. And if I throw in the 9th as well, like an A major triad with a C over B flat, you get a pretty hip sound, right? It's like a diminished major 7 with a ninth. And it's even really cool to not resolve it. So I'm replacing that chord with a diminished chord. Again, we have to be careful doing this when you don't want to do it on a jam without warning, as it were, but people definitely do this, and you won't be able to pick up on that if the piano player is kind of hinting towards that kind of sound. It's not uncommon. So something to be said about major 7 chords and extensions. If you're playing like an old standard, like let's say All of Me, start with a C, the root, and it's basically the triad. A lot of jazz books tell you that, when you see a major 7 chord, you can play the major 7 and the sharp 11 and all that. Yes, but if you do that on All of Me, for example, and the melodies, that's gonna clash, right? So when you play a tune like that in that style, you want to play like a 6 chord or a 6/9 chord, right? You don't want to play. It's just weird, right? So those extensions are for tunes that have extensions in the melody. And if you're jamming on All of Me and all of a sudden you're playing a super hip major 7, it's gonna clash, right? So you need to understand the context you're playing in. And my point with this tune is that it's a little bit of both. You could play this tune as a early jazz tune, right? But you could also play it with a very modern. It's been recorded many times in many different styles, so that just goes to show what an interesting tune it is. So that was that. So I have a backing track here with those changes. I play a B minor 7 flat 5 instead of F. I play a B flat major, B flat diminished major 7 instead of the B flat major at some point, and I'm playing those chromatic 2/5s at the end of the tune there. And this is what that sounds like. A7 to C minor. Here's B split. Here's the minor major 7 or diminished. E flat minor, D minor, G, C sharp minor.